Welcome to our first annual Pray for Gray event.
Brain tumors do not discriminate, strike anyone at any age, gender, or ethnicity.
Hundreds are working together to raise money to fight the devastation of brain cancer and tumors.
Pray for Gray held its banquet and auction fundraiser.
After experiencing weakness on his right side and troubles with speech.
Welcome to the second annual Pray for Gray event.
The cause of brain tumors are difficult to diagnose because their symptoms often mimic other diseases.
Organizers raised nearly $100,000 last year, with that money going toward local families struggling with brain cancer.
He'd been experiencing dizziness and vision impairment. Welcome to the third annual Pray for Gray event. Over 190,000 people in the United States are diagnosed each year with brain tumors. Welcome to the fourth annual Pray for Gray event.
Fans not only got to watch the Red Hawks play at Newman Outdoor Field, they also helped spread awareness for a great cause. Pray for Gray educates and raises awareness about brain tumors. The nonprofit gave out tickets and t-shirts at the ballpark to help continue building relationships in the FM area.
Good evening and welcome to the fifth annual Pray for Gray event. Pray for Gray would like to recognize the courage and determination of three amazing individuals.
Pray for Gray is set for Friday, September 9th at the Hilton Garden Inn. There will be a silent auction and dinner along with stories from local families impacted by brain cancer.
Welcome to the sixth annual Pray for Gray event.
She lacked energy and mental focus and suffered with migraines and visual auroras her entire life.
Pray for Gray not only raises money for research but helps families financially when they have a loved one battling a brain tumor.
Welcome to the seventh annual Pray for Gray event. She found herself tired, confused, and disoriented.
Well, this is a way for this nonprofit organization to give back and to help all those families who have been affected and to help families that may come across this in the future.
Welcome to the 8th annual Pray for Gray event. Tonight, Pray for Gray would like to recognize the courage and determination of four amazing individuals. The doctors informed them that the tumor was responding well to the treatment.
Now it's in its 10th year. The organization's founder, Julie Fletcher, also wants people coping with the illness to know they are not alone.
Welcome to the 9th annual Pray for Gray event.
When I was diagnosed with my own grade 4 malignant brain tumor, actually 11 years ago now, I didn't know anybody else that had had brain cancer, so I didn't know who to turn to ask some questions, and that is why we started to help other people who go through the same type of diagnosis. It's much easier to get through when you know somebody else is going through it along with you and you don't feel alone.
We were heading back to Fort Collins from Greeley. My wife actually was driving while I was doing emails because she's kind of my driver when I'm working, so it makes it a little easier. And Julie didn't seem quite right to me, so I actually switched drivers. And fortunately, within 3 minutes of getting into Fort Collins, Julie had the grand mal seizure. We were very lucky that day because as I was putting her back in her seatbelt as she was having her seizure, which I thought might have been a stroke, a couple paramedics came out of a restaurant and were able to take over the situation. And it was a very scary day and obviously a day that we'll never forget. I actually got to hold your hand probably 10 seconds before she had to go into the OR, and that was probably the toughest 6 hours of my life waiting for the results. It was very trying for the whole family. And
That Dr. Atkinson knocked on the door and he came in and I could tell by just the look on his face right away that it wasn't the news he was hoping to share with me.
we turned off the TV right away, and I think my heart sunk.
And he sunk, and you could just tell by his we'd been visiting with him, and you could just tell by his facial expression that it wasn't what he wanted to tell us either, and I knew it was going to be difficult. And from there, we got the news that it was a grade 4, the highest, most aggressive grade you can get for a tumor, and radiation and chemo was going to be necessary.
He gave us tough news too. He looked at Julie, said it's time to start living, and doctors aren't supposed to get real emotional, but he got awfully emotional too. I think he'd grown very fond of Julie and her attitude, and he was very highly proud of the surgery he did, and then to give us the news that most people don't survive 12 to 15 months with this type tumor, and that he would still recommend the radiation and chemo and start living. And that's what we started doing. We started living.
Took his advice literally, and we've started traveling more together, and there's not one day that I have a bad day anymore. There's no such thing as a bad day.
Julie had a dream to make a difference, and I think we're the type of people that can make a difference with a great fundraiser like this and give hope. And it's only because of the great friends and family that we have, and I think Fargo is a great community to do this in. And again, things happen for a reason, and we're here to keep
make a
hope.
difference. I'm here to make a difference. It's got to start somewhere, and I'm hoping it catches on, and I always hope I will always be remembered that I tried to make a difference for everybody that are affected by this.
And our hope is for a cure.
The ultimate goal.
We really are thankful for, really the many different organizations, but specifically Pray for Gray. And I think it's just so important to us that we have organizations out there that, to get the stories out and really just, it's all about the research, and it really is all about people understanding that this affects a lot of people. And I think we didn't know that until we were right in the middle. And I think it's just important that we keep fighting to find a cure. And I think it's the only way to do it, is just making everybody aware and getting the money to where it needs to go so that they can continue to research and find the cure that I think we're all looking for.
There is so much hope out there, and I have faith that there is a cure, and it might not be that far away, and it does take time and effort, and she's the benefit of what's happened in the past, and we're thankful for what money and research has done. It's only going to get better, and if she's any indication of anyone that can support brain tumors and the research it takes, please do it. She's not only a survivor, but she's amazing. She's Amazing Grace.
One of my students came up to me and said, I have $2,000 from the Pray for Gray Foundation, and I was just flabbergasted the generosity of somebody that didn't even know us. So we're just humbled.
It's a great thing. It's hard to thank everyone, but I think you learn from this that if you go help others too, the way you've received help is the best way to thank others.
Like you're doing, Julie, you've been through this, and it's your mission now. And it's pretty neat to follow somebody who's, living out probably not the dream you expected, but regardless, life sends us directions, and you do what you can with it, and you did, and we're very thankful.
I hadn't heard of Pray for Gray until 2013, shortly before the fall dinner and event that's hosted by Pray for Gray. So we attended that year, and really I think of all that Kelly's been through and how different it was for her than it may have been for somebody, 5 or 10 years previous, just because of all the advancements that are made, and that clearly needs to continue. We just need to keep moving forward, and eventually this process is something that nobody will have to go through again.
Welcome to the 10th annual Pray for Gray event.
Standing in a crowded room and I can't see your face. Put your arms around me, tell me everything's okay. In my mind I'm running around a cold and empty space. Just put your arms around me, tell me everything's okay.
To date, Pray for Gray is the only 501c3 charity in North Dakota raising money for financial support for brain tumor families and research dollars for better treatments and ultimately a hope for a cure.
Darling, hold my hand. Oh, won't you hold my hand? 'Cause I don't wanna walk on my own anymore. Won't you understand? 'Cause I don't wanna walk alone.
Pray for Gray is a not-for-profit independent organization, not affiliated with any one institution. Pray for Gray serves individuals locally and awards funds to researchers throughout the United States. One of Pray for Gray's missions is to raise awareness and funds that will significantly and positively impact both the potential outcome and quality of life for brain tumor patients.
I came home from work one day and Vance says, "Guess who called me today?" And I said, "Who is this? Julie Fletcher." And I was like, I know that name, it sounds familiar, because I had read everything on the Pray for Gray website as well. And a lot of it was very uplifting, and of course some of it isn't, some of it is not. So to have you sitting here today in our living room with your knowledge and what you've gone through and your family's gone through and what you've seen other families go through, we appreciate what you do for us.
Over 190,000 people in the United States are diagnosed each year with brain tumors. The cause of brain tumors are difficult to diagnose because their symptoms often mimic other diseases, often causing delay in diagnosis or misdiagnosis altogether. Brain tumors do not discriminate, strike anyone at any age, gender, or ethnicity.
It makes me wonder, I guess, how big can Julie go with this, right? Like now it just starts and it'll explode, and she's got a lot of work ahead of her, and I know it's all just going to go great.
We can touch a lot of people's families right here.
So we said, okay, we'll do it, but we're going to need a name. And Julie always talks about gray. Well, gray is the color for brain cancer, but when somebody has an MRI, you want to see the gray, and the entire brain is made up of gray matter, so hence the name came Pray for Gray. Now our goal here with Pray for Gray is not just in the first year, but to keep this going for many years to come, make it a larger event. But we also want to make a difference and give money to the ABTA. Brain cancer is new, and I don't think people are very familiar with it, and I think it's something that people are going to see more and more and more of, and relatively not a lot of research has been done with it. To date, they don't know what causes brain cancer, and no known cause, and the only thing that we can do is find a cure and find better alternative medicine in order to better defeat it.
We've had just an outpour of people wanting to support this, and we've bumped it up. We're making it work for 10, 15 extra tickets now because we didn't want to tell anybody no. And of course we wanted to get bigger and bigger every year, but this is a good starting point, I think, for us for the first year, and I think we've sold about 115 tickets.
Mm-hmm. You know, Julie and I always talk about, we like to think we're very giving people, and we're always trying to donate to other groups and charities, and this is the one time that we were asking for help, and it was very humbling, very, very humbling to see the results that we got, to be able to sell out the tickets so quickly, the silent auction items that we received, and it's going to be a great, successful event, and we're not going to be able to hold it at the old Broadway next year, I don't think, with the seating that we're going to have for next year, but it was a wonderful opportunity that they gave us to get this thing started.
It's a great opportunity.
And we're so thankful that we're going to be able to make a nice donation to the American Brain Tumor Association because of everybody that's here tonight.